Alright, Arrow fans, time to take a look at the final episode of the day, which is Disbanded. Oliver patches himself up as Diggle, Felicity, and Curtis express shock at his pronouncement. Diggle and Felicity both try to convince Oliver that they need to stop Chase, but Oliver is convinced that inviting people to join his team just causes death and suffering for them. Diggle asks Oliver to speak to him alone, but Oliver just walks away. At Felicity's apartment, she and Curtis fill in with Renee and Dinah. Diggle arrives and says he's spoken to Thea, was ready to come back when he gives the word. He says that they still have to protect the city, as well as the old Chase. The criminals are back in the bunker, which oversees for security, but Lila's providing them new equipment. Felicity says she'll handle Chase, leaving the rest of them to protect the city. Quentin tells Oliver he managed to cover her about Oliver being on a spiritual retreat. Chase comes in and thanks Oliver for giving him compassionate leave after Doris's death. Quentin decides that Chase shouldn't have killed her. Oliver asks him to leave them alone. Chase puts the knife on the table. Oliver says he's not going to just stab him. Chase says Oliver won't be able to kill him as the Green Arrow now SCPD have him in protective custody. She's not going to kill him as the Green Arrow now SCPD have him in protective custody. So either he kills in public or lets him do whatever he wants. In a flashback, Angela expresses bewilderment that Oliver wants to return to Lian Yu. Oliver says it provides a decent excuse for where he's been for the last 5 years, and he leaves in 48 hours. Angela asks him to come with him and takes him to a clinic where people are dying of tuberculosis. He says the Bradford can't afford medicine for all of them, so he suggests a heist. In the present, Susan visits Oliver and tells him she made a statement to the police about Chase, but they didn't believe her because he has a cast iron alibi. She has Oliver to make a statement backing her up, but Oliver says Chase will have planned for that. They only beat him to do something he wouldn't have expected. He blames himself for creating Chase. So everything that happened is on him, and Susan needs to stay away from him. Susan leaves without a word. Oliver meets with Anatoly in the bunker. Anatoly expressed surprise at Oliver coming to him after how their last meeting ended. Oliver says Anatoly was right, that wearing the hood wasn't enough to control the monster inside of him. He asks him to kill Chase for him. Anatoly's ready to do so, but wants a down payment. Oliver agrees and Anatoly will get the first part of his payment now and the second afterwards. Diggle, Curtis, Dinah, and Renee look over the new equipment without much enthusiasm. They get a report of drug robbery and head down there. As Dinah takes out some of the thieves, Renee notices they're stealing Oplomed, a diabetes drug. He and Diggle move in to subdue the thieves, but Anatoly arrives and takes charge of the situation. The thieves are his men, and Oliver has given them permission to be there. A stunned Diggle lets them go and goes to confront Oliver. However, Oliver remains stringent, insisting his old team have to stay out of the mess he's created. At Helix, Felicity does some work for Alina, in return for which Alina does research on Chase. She finds security footage of him unmasking as Prometheus, but his features are pixelated. Felicity realizes he is using experimental core industry's technology to hide his features. She can reverse engineer to restore the footage, but it would mean getting hold of Chase's image scrambler. Diggle, Renee, Curtis, and Dinah debrief at Felicity's apartment. Renee's trying to stay away from City Hall by Quentin to stop him from doing anything to Chase. Felicity is home. Diggle has to speak to her in private. Curtis checks her laptop and learns of her plan to get hold of the scrambler. Diggle asks Felicity to join him in trying to talk Oliver around, but Felicity has no problem with the Bradford killing Chase. Diggle plays until explaining his interest in the drug to Oliver. Combined with a second drug, it would produce a highly addictive opioid. Diggle expresses disgust, but Oliver remains convinced that his crusade was just an excuse to kill people, and the others are best off out of it. Renee debates saving Chase, but Diggle is insistent that they have to bring him to justice the right way. Dinah gets a report that Chase is being moved, and they realize this is when the Brockville will strike. Chase is being escorted by Officer Lopez, and wonders if she has any theories about who the Green Arrow is. The Brockville attack, but Diggle, Dinah, and Renee help fight them off. In the confusion, Curtis also chases and uses a cue ball to get hold of his scrambler. The SCPD ushers Chase to safety as Team Arrow flees the scene. Representative of Federal Witness Protection tells Oliver and Quentin that, since there's a leak in Star City, they're taking Chase into custody. Oliver gazes at Chase, coyly mocks him for trying something. Oliver angrily confronts John for interfering. John admits that Oliver helped him pull him back from the brink when he was willing to roiling him out of out of guilt for killing Andy. Although feels he doesn't deserve the hood, they used to work to do so. Felicity, Elena, and Amir are all bewildered when Curtis turns up at Helix. He'll be striking nanites and Felicity's pancakes. He reveals the scrambler he obtained. Secretly looks at it but discovered it's encrypted and would take over a year to break it. Elena suggests Cord Industries might have the technology to do it quicker. She says she and Amir have already worked out the pair Overwatch and Mr. Terrific and suggests they break in and do it. Oliver tells Anatoly that the deal is off, but Anatoly insists that I'll leave Chase alive if that's what he wants. The drug is too important to the Bravo for him to leave without it. Oliver meets with Diggle, Dinah, and Renee at the bunker and asks for their help. Clad in a balaclava, Oliver leads Spartan, Wild Dog, and Canary protecting the pharmacy company. At the same time, that Felicity and Curtis break into Court Industries and use their tech, getting a clear image of Chase. Oliver confronts Anatoly, who reveals his men are holding several of the staff hostage and will kill them if Oliver interferes. Oliver sends Spartan, Wild Dog, and Canary to the rescue the hostages. He takes out Anatoly's men on his own. Ring's actions favor Zero in helping Anatoly steal drugs as a hood. Excuse me. Anatoly says Oliver would have killed them and invites him to shoot him. Instead, Oliver sets off an alarm, meaning they both have to flee. The troop convene at the bunker and Felicity shows several footage of Chase. Oliver says this is the thing that Chase didn't predict. Her. Then says she'll get the footage SCPD and Felicity says upload it onto the internet. Oliver agrees the team's active again with a few changes. He reveals dummies where all of their suits are stored. Right now, Oliver still has the suit he wore in their recent raid. Oliver doesn't feel ready to suit up as a Green Arrow again, but hopes to soon. In a flashback, Oliver and Anatoly deliver the drugs to the clinic. Anatoly admits he was hoping Oliver would stay and worries what he'll become without him. Oliver says he needs to save his own home. At the present, Oliver and Anatoly have a far less friendly meeting. Oliver says Anatoly, who was his friend, would never threaten to kill innocent people, and he's become as bad as Gregor. Anatoly reminds Oliver his comments. And 5 years earlier says he became when he needed to be to keep the Bravo together and survive. He was going back to Russia, but the men and rest of the pharmacy company are on a bail and he's leaving them behind. Quentin and Dinah show the footage of Chase to Lopez and the rest of the CPD, saying to the U.S. Marshals, no, Chase is to be arrested, and in a safe house, Chase's minders get a text message. Once the game is up, Chase kills them both and drives from the scene, penciling police cars coming to arrest him. Oh boy. So anyway, let's take a look at some trivia from this episode. This is one of the few episodes in which Oliver doesn't wear his Green Arrow suit, though he wears his hood suit in the flashback. The original theme music didn't play on the title card was shown at the beginning. The title refers to Oliver's brief disbandment of Team Arrow after his torture at the hands of Adrian Chase. After discovering that the device Chase uses to pixelate his image, Felicity warns him that winter is here, referencing the motto of Game of Thrones. While Oliver and Diggle argue in the lad's apartment, Diggle says that he knows the good, the bad, and the ugly in Oliver's life. This likely reference to the 1966 film The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. So far, I think this episode is kind of interesting, and yeah, I'm just glad that Team Arrow only disbanded for a brief time, because if they disbanded permanently, then that would not be good. So yeah. So overall, I give Disbanded 4 arrowheads out of 5. Well, tune in more as we to the next episode, Dangerous Liaisons. So, until then, in the words of Oliver Queen, you have failed this city.